This. Today I'm going to go over Kumite technique with an emphasis on stances, pivoting, getting the right motion, forward, back, or side step. And the whole goal is to position yourself properly against your opponent for obviously defense and counterattack, as well as attacking, trying to get distance. Now the issue is a lot of the times we get slowed down because we don't have our feet in the right position or our stances correct, and then we're worried and get off balance, so that's going to affect our blocking and our counterattacks and our punching and having a strong technique. So it all comes down to proper stance and footwork. And that's going to, if you get the right footwork, it's going to increase your speed as well as your reactive time and getting a good solid punches and kicks in for scoring a point. Okay, so we're going to start off with some technical stuff about pivots and footwork. And if you end up starting out in a furudachi, which is our fighting stance, you don't want to be set where you're off balance. In other words, if you're too high, you're going to be a little bit off balance. Too low, you want to have your knees bent equally like a kibarachi. So basically, that's what a furudachi is center stance, okay? And your center of gravity is right over the middle, not forward like zenkutsudachi or back like kokutsudachi, but centered. So if you think about it, if you go center stance, toes this way, and then you just turn your hips, okay, that's pretty much furudachi. Now, you got to make sure you're a little bit reactive on your legs. So you want to be equally centered as well, so you can move forward and back, okay, at a split second. Now, what problem a lot of us have are our extension with our punches, because we're limiting our hips and our shoulder movement due to the wrong or incorrect placement of the foot when we're either moving forward or back. Now, in place, it's a little different story. So let me demonstrate real quick. In a furudachi position, fighting stance with, let's say, yakizuki, and you're trying to score a point or try to get good technique, you want to make sure you start off with your heel, pushing your knee, pushing your hip forward a little bit while you're twisting, okay? Not your whole body, just your hip twisting, okay? You're still centered. Okay, now, you want the whole idea then is to make sure you deliver your hand from your elbow first straight out with the twist of the shoulder and the hips simultaneously. Okay, so you could do that with the punch and twist, okay, bending the knee. Now, you're only limited on this twist and this extension to the amount that your bones will stop here and twist, because the foot now is still on the ground. Okay, if you look on the side view, okay, your foot is on the ground, and I'm twisting as much as I can, my shoulder, my hip. Now, what's keeping me from twisting more is that heel on the ground. Okay, this is a good position if you're in place, somebody attacking you, okay, or you're attacking them at this particular moment. Okay, so if they're coming at you and you put your foot down on solid ground while you're going backwards, okay, that's good. However, you're still limited no matter what to the amount of motion you have because of the heel on the ground. So what we're trying to do is get a stronger punch, okay, with a more hip motion and a more shoulder extension, okay? The only way to do that is now to lift the heel up off the ground and twist that hip even more. It allows you to have more travel, twisting travel on your hip, and then because of that, your shoulder and longer punch extension. So you got 3 inches more, okay? Bending the knee, of course, helps. Okay, so we can't be doing a reverse punch if we're moving forward or back, okay? Especially forward with the heel on the ground, of course, because we're moving, okay? So what we need to do is bring that heel up, bend the knee, twist, and then while we're moving, like on a skateboard, let's say, or rollers, this position, okay? Okay, now, so here is the heel down, and now I bring it up. Okay, now I got a block too, of course. So now you don't want to lean forward. You want to still keep your shoulders back, so you got to put some effort into arching your back while you're doing this. Okay. I'm going to move forward. Okay, I'll do a shot to the front here. Okay, moving forward. Okay, with the lunge and a yakuzuki, lunging forward, pushing here, keeping a wide stance, and the heels up. Okay. Okay, so I just came forward and I dragged my ball with my foot, keeping that heel down. The same thing I'll show you on this direction. Okay, here's a normal reverse punch. Here's one with the heel up, with the ball of the foot dragging. Okay. Okay, so you're here and then you reset. Okay, to get the defense back and be able to move at a different direction. Okay. So again, here, got to be here, got to be solid. Okay. Now you don't want to be on one leg and try to defend, right? So that's why immediately I reset my foot down for defense to do something else. Okay. Multiple technique. Now, when you reset, you can reset back, you can reset forward, reset sideways, okay? Reset the left side, side step. So reset is good. You're just snapping your hips back and putting your feet down, okay? It's getting you more solid back to the center position for yakuzukis and for any other technique. Okay. Well, let me explain something about that extension, because you need to think about, like when you're doing an attack and continue, follow through. Okay, use that to your advantage. Okay, so for instance, I'm going to come back a little bit here. When I come forward, I do that yakuzuki with that. I'm going to keep my hips turning, and I'm going to allow, because I'm going forward and twisting, I'm going to allow my whole side of my body to continue. Okay, so in other words, I'm going to go here. Okay, and then I allow that momentum to help me come forward. Okay, and that's going to help with a multiple attack and also a defense. Okay, so for instance, I'm going to go here, go. Okay, and it's quicker because I'm allowed to allow my momentum forward. I'll show you a side view of that. In other words, I'm going here, okay, and punching, and then I'm allowing myself to continue that way without a lot of effort. And then I just push off here so I get the speed and the distance. Okay, so in other words, I'm going to go here. Okay, allow that. I kept that back, or go here, forward. Okay, here we go. Again, allow it to come forward, stepping with another one here. Okay, and then reset. All right. All right, so pivoting technique is very important. It makes a lot of practice, okay, thought and discipline. The best way to do it is to think about the pivot come up and then the pivot resetting down. Just as important as a pivot coming back on all our karate technique, especially recovering kicks and other turns and side steps. And we'll go over that more when we get to the kick part of our technique. So let me show you real quick how you should practice your pivot. Okay, so the pivoting obviously is up here with the knee bent and down here, right? But you need to kind of get it, because you're going to be doing it with a lot, like your kicks, you're going to do it with all your weight on that foot. Trying to pivot here, okay, or pivot here. So like for a side kick, you're going to pivot on one leg. So you got all that weight trying to move your foot on the ball of your foot, and only that much on the floor, surface area, right? So you got to bend the knee, okay? You bend the knee and you lift the foot, okay? And it's easy to pivot out. People have a hard time pivoting back, okay? A lot of times they'll kick or they'll do something, even in the stance, pivot and step back without pivoting back, and they put the foot in the wrong position and have a difficult time. Even stepping back quick, you got to pivot that foot first before you step back. Okay, so what I do is I could pivot like this, foot off the ground, and you practice. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and bring it up. Try to keep your body centered, okay? So basically you're just pivoting the heel, pivot it back, okay? And that's going to help you tremendously in all your stance changes. It's going to help you on your speed and your control of your body. Okay, obviously if you get off balance and leaning over, it's going to be a disaster. You won't be able to block or continue. Okay. All right, so as far as Kumite is concerned, we try to do multiple attacks most of the time. We do a reverse punch, but if you try to, let's say, push somebody back and try to get their defense up, down, and then try to score. That way, try to get an opening, create an opening. So a lot of times, we want to go in a little bit of an angle, right? So what we'll do is on the reset, we'll go a little bit to right side, left side. So in other words, if I'm coming forward, I'm doing a punch here. Okay, that's forward. Okay, go straight back. Well, everybody's pretty much practiced and set up to go up and back. But if you go to the angle, it's harder for somebody to move and to defend that, right? So what we'll try to do is we'll come forward, and then we'll reset with a side step. So in other words, I go here, okay? Somebody's maybe doing a kick or something, but you always have a block up by reverse punching, okay? So again, what I'll do is I'll go here, okay? So I'm resetting my feet here, but foot's coming down over here, all right? All right, so same thing. I'm going to do another one here, this way, all right? So basically, go, okay. So I'm just coming at a different angle, all right, on the reset. All right, and that's kind of like a side step, okay? All right, so how am I at? So I'm going to do that on the angle here, and then I'll show it from this direction, okay? So on the reverse punch, you reset this way, okay? So basically here, and then push off at this leg while you're, okay? That's the open side. Okay, now do the closed side here. So you're going to here, okay? We're going to be jumping over, switching our feet, and reverse punch. Okay. So practicing that is using momentum with the leg, coming up, and then switching. Okay. All right, so same thing here. Stepping. Get a little bit of distance if they're moving back. All right, so get more in the center here, I guess. All right. Okay, very good. Okay, so I want you to practice all that with the footwork, with the pivoting, and then we're going to go on the next set. We're going to do the hand motions with defense at the same time. So I'll be going over that. Just